toy dog. Joel.
Welcome, welcome in everybody, welcome to the stream. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I was actually kind of waiting for Sen to come back, and then I was doing something for a little bit. But, Sen was hanging out with some friendos, and I was like, I'm gonna let Sen hang out with friendos, and I'm not gonna, like, hurry them up or anything.
Creature.
So let me go ahead and, let's go say hi to everybody in chat. Welcome in, Bob. Welcome in, Cinerine. Welcome in, Eggman. Welcome in, Seth. Thank you for the sub. I really appreciate it. Welcome in, Sanix. Welcome in, Bucky. Welcome in, Knights. Welcome in, Ellen. Welcome in, Diggs. And we got a shout out for Diggs. Don't worry, I already handled it. I'm so quick at doing that. I thought Nickmo and Eve were the same person. I think it was more of a coincidence that their hair color and eye color are similar, because I made Eve on stream. I did make Eve on stream, and I think it might have been Nate who was like, "Oh, let's give Eve green hair," and I was like, "Oh yeah, let's do that. The unique color." And I don't have an OC who has green hair, and I ended up choosing a pretty good color of green too, because it's got like that, like, sort of a little bit of blue to it, which makes sense. And I'm very happy. I'm very happy with Eve, and there are details that will be revealed once I start working on the what do you call it? The laser TTS, the laser redeem, which is basically, yeah, it's like mint green. Oh wait.
The key. A marvelous fun is about to break free.
My entire experience of the whole situation is being introduced to people OCs via Tenchi's. Yeah, no, that's fine. No, that's fine. There is many ways to be introduced to. Most of the OCs on there are mine, and some of them you probably won't see as much, because I'm kind of like shifting my stream to be more focused on just the 3 characters, which is just me, Jolene, and Eve. And Eve is the TTS mascot over here. I'm introducing myself to you right now. Hello, I am Diggs. I am the streamer. The key. A marvelous fun is about to break free. You know, I love the Jubble thing. But yes, basically some of the OCs in Tenchi's mod are mine, and it was very nice of Tenchi to put them in.
Spooky Godzilla.
Uh-huh. But yes, today we're going to be reading Godzilla NES. We're going to continue our journey. We're going to start on Chapter 6. So if you haven't already, and you missed the previous VOD, it is available on my Twitch. But if you want, it is also available on YouTube on youtube.com/Jexoy. It'll be there. The VOD is already available. Banjo-Kazooie. Banjo-Kazooie. We need more Banjo-Kazooie characters in the cosplay era. I don't know what I'm thinking, but Gruntilda would be cool. So, Banjo-Kazooie was the first game I ever streamed. Banjo-Kazooie was the first game I ever streamed, and I would be happy to stream. I did stream Banjo-Kazooie again, but I didn't get to finish it again because I was, I forgot why. I think I'm very ADHD when it comes to the games that I play.
Clairvoyant drew dog food.
Uh-huh. Kurmi? Welcome in, Kami. Well, chat, if you want. Well, chat, if you want, you can go ahead and follow the Orange Kami, who did not stream today, even though she said that it was possible. But if you want to go ahead and follow the Orange Kami, you can definitely do so over in these areas. What did you send me? What did you send me? Oh, you sent me some rigging. Oh, that's awesome. That's so many points. I love that like. So Kami sent me some of the work that she's been doing, which is like rigging a character, and there are like little points, like a mesh essentially, and it is essentially. You know, okay, so like there's like the way a mesh works is there's like little points for like for you to move around. Think of it as like to kind of like manipulate the drawing itself, and you can see from like the legs it's like a little bit not too many dots, and then the higher you go up it's like some sort of infection. You can see like the more and more dots just start to infest this creature to the point where their face is completely covered in dots. You posted. You came back and dove into the works. How long can you roll an R when you're saying a word? I don't know. I don't know until I get tired. Dr. Ivo Robotnik. But yes, today we're going to be continuing our journey through Godzilla NES. I think Sen is still on the toilet, so I'm kind of stalling until Sen gets back. But yes, let me go ahead. We're going to go ahead and move on to the... Damn. It should switch over. There you go. I should load. There I am. I turned into an engine. Stinknari. Stinky. I'm giving myself a promotion. Senari. Since we're waiting for Sen, let's have a little bit of a damn. Okay, look at Eve right there. She's dancing. Let her do it. I collect cereal. Oh my god. It was like such a vocal stem way back then. I collect cereals. It took me 9 years to collect the cereals. The little conga line. Cereal. This video footage reminds me of I had After Effects pick footage. Kami, I would need... Okay, Kami, for real, I would love for your help at some point. So here's what welcome back, Sen. Kami, at some point, I like how you shouted Kami out again. So Kami, there is an effect that I would like if you can help me with, because you probably have the program, and it's like this speed line effect. If that makes sense, there's like a speed line effect that doesn't take too long to make, but I just don't have the programs to do it. And I would love to do it for Eve's laser. So, welcome in, Mush. So, okay, so here's the idea, right? So, Eve is supposed to pop up, right? So, here's my idea. Eve pops up, right? And it's gonna be literally like a fighting game, right? Eve is gonna come up. I think it's called like a super. Let me see. Fighting game supers. I think it might be like. Let me see. What's it called? Is it like this? I'm trying to find it. It's like a special move. I'm trying to remember the name of the word. So something like that, but maybe not. I know. Okay, I'm getting distracted, but essentially. Oh wait, like this. Okay. Actually, found a good image. Okay, hold on. Okay, so something. I might have to zoom in a bit more. So, something like this. Where's my window capture? Should show. So something like, you see how like something like that, where it like it'll show a character portrait. I know it's cut off a little bit, but it shows a character portrait, and then like the laser comes out. You can see Spider-Man doing something similar, but so that's my current idea for Eve's. Like it's gonna be the equivalent of a 1v1 essentially for me. So Eve is gonna come out, and you're gonna see like a sort of like key art pop up, like how it does with like with Ryu here, right? And it's, you know, it's gonna slide a little bit and fade away, and then Eve will do her like laser animation. It's gonna like blast me, and it'll completely envelop my envelop my my PNG, so it looks like I'm getting actually damaged, and you can maybe even little like brrr, like little effects. Yeah, like a little yeah, like the background or like a flash or something like that. I'll think of more about it whenever I actually start making it, but like I might ask for your help about something like that. But yeah, I want to have something where Eve, like she does like a special, and like she does her like freaking laser attack, and it hits me, and that's my 1v1. And then like later on, whenever I do end up moving on to whenever I do end up moving on to what do you call it, to that other program, and I understand how it works, there might be like a little bit more interactivity with it, where like, I don't know, I might do like a reaction towards it, and like I'll or like maybe like my whole entire character will be covered in soot or something like that. It'll be funny. What is this, Kami? What did you send me? What is this? What is this? Speed lines. Yeah, like this, exactly. That's the video that I saw. That's the video I saw, Kami. This is literally the video I saw. Am I Canadian? No. Doable? Excellent. I might have to ask your help when the time comes. Whenever the time comes, but because I don't have After Effects. But yeah, that is the After Effects, and opening it and get a conniption. For you, I would do it no problem. I'll have to. Look, here's the thing, Kami. Before I do ask for help like that, I would have to actually finish the animation itself, because like the animation itself is. Wait, no, I'm gonna be working the entire animation itself. Then the background is all I literally need afterwards, and then I'll just slap it on. And then I could probably make it like a I don't know, maybe like something with trigger fire. Sen could help me figure that out. I will have to bite my laptop very hard. Okay, let me. Yeah, I didn't want to bother you too much with that as well, but it was an idea that I had for basically for my stream, because I think it would be a really cool idea to have my own version of a what do you call it? Have my own version of like a 1v1, but like unique and with you know, with all that. Eve, you can hide away now. Where are you, Eve? But if you need anything from me as well, Kami, just let me know. But yes, right now we will be reading. You will be reading the Creepypasta, Godzilla NES.
Jexoy.
So if you don't remember, we were I can't read. So we will be reading Godzilla NES. If you don't remember, or if you haven't caught up, here's a quick summary of what the events are of this creepypasta. our narrator essentially is someone who is very much a fan of Godzilla, like the series itself. big fan of the series, and they were given an NES game of a real NES game, because Godzilla NES is a real actual NES game that exists, right? And they were given this game by a friend. It is a game they had owned previously when they were younger, but over time they lost contact with that particular item, and so they start playing it, and then glitches start to happen in the game itself, and it starts introducing monsters. Welcome in, Mew. It starts introducing kaijus and monsters that like aren't part of the original game. And it's getting to the point where it's starting to get, like, ridiculous, and, the first 9 seconds of this video, that's me after opening the... What is this, Kami? What is this? Young Maestro, what is this?
Is fun. The game is a battle.
The game is a battle.
Why bother?
I like the Kingdom Hearts music.
Where's the fun?
Where's the fun? Oh, wrong time set. Play from beginning. Oh. Let me see. Play from the beginning. Okay. Okay, what does it say?
Can't even die right. Gives me conniptions.
Soul's play.
Kami running around in circles. Ah!
Alright, what's for breakfast? What's for breakfast? No dice. Let's see the wake up. What's he gonna do on his wake up attempt?
Okay, I'll watch the rest of this later. Can you send this to me in DMs? What's for breakfast? Send that to me in DMs. I would love to see that. Okay, so and essentially he has this game. A bunch of weird stuff starts happening. Every end of the world, like end of the level or end of the world in this area, has to deal with him being chased by a creature he deems as he is calling Red, and he is being chased by it, and he usually escapes. He usually escapes like with like barely. He barely escapes, and at one point he yells at it, and he's like, "Yeah, you know, what are you gonna do about it?" And it literally looks at him. So there is some sort of connection there, and right before the end, we realized, or we ended up figuring out that the game is sort of connecting to him in a mental way, where it is like resurfacing memories from when he was younger about his previous partner, Melissa, who was quote unquote very not mentally healthy, which I don't think is a good story beat. But she was not mentally healthy, and she ran in front of a truck and died. And it was very traumatic for him, and the game is kind of like taunting him about it. And so that was the climax of the previous chapter. And now we are in chapter 6, Exus. I want to say Exodus, but it's not Exodus, it's Exus. Extus. Maybe it's Extus. But yeah. Well, chat, are you ready? Are you ready to continue the journey? Are you ready? I like this Smash Bros music that I have playing in the background. Alright, you are? Alright. Alright. Alright, chapter 6, Extus. In a brief instant before the transition between Entropy and Extus, I was hoping that I would get Godzilla and Gearus back. And as the board appeared, I saw that my wish was half granted. I had Godzilla back, but no Angirius. I would have preferred both, but despite Angirius's neat abilities, I would have chosen Godzilla if I had to pick between the two. Exodus had two different colored temples, pink and white, a pyramid which looked like some modern buildings, and two other icons I couldn't figure out at the time. The new bosses were Kumonga, Gorosoras, and not Ghidorah, whom I was dreading to see, let alone fight. With Godzilla back, I was excited and eager to explore more, yet still cautious. I went to the quiz level first, just as above. This time, Face's questions were more random than ever. Hi, Mario fan. It is time for more questions from Face. Go ahead and... Question 1. Or question. Do elephants breathe? Answer yes. Reaction, weird face number 2. Have you ever been by a family member? Answer no. Weird face number 6. Think of the stretch and hydrate. Have you ever that someone? Answer no. Reaction, weird face number 8. Is the computer a pinnacle of modern technology? Let me put volume down to a little bit high. Are you a tough guy? Answer yes. Reaction weird face number... Oh no, weird face number 12. Can you fly? Answer no. Reaction weird face number 9. Can you stand on your head? Answer yes. Reaction weird face number 7. Excuse me. Let me scroll up a little bit. Do you hate raccoons? Answer no. Reaction confused. Yeah, some of these are yikes, which is why I'm kind of glossing over them a little bit. Would you like a new monster? Answer yes. Reaction surprised. Will you miss me? Answer yes. Reaction sad. It is edgelord early pasta days. I was happy that I was getting a new monster. Let me change the music a little bit. Hold on. Give me a quick second. Let's change it to this real quick. I was happy that I was getting a new monster, but that last question bothered me. Will you miss me? Is Face referring to when I finished the game? I thought. Since the revelation of the game is truly otherworldly nature, I wasn't sure what to think of Face, or anything else in this game. But something about that last statement gave me a genuine feeling of sadness from Face. As I was thinking about this, I had gone back to the board. I had a new monster. I had no idea who it was supposed to be. The sprite had a slight resemblance to Rodon, but the head was totally off. I moved this mysterious newcomer to the white temple icon, and started the level. When I started the level, this screen appeared next to the "Find the Gem," presumably instructions for beating the level. So this is the white temple. So let me see. Okay. After my first look at the new after that, I got my first look at my new playable monster, a hairy, dark blue creature with bat wings and a skull-like face, named Solomon. And so I also found that my path was blocked by a beam of light and a small pillar with a plate on it. I figured that this beam of light was blocking the exit, so I have to find the gem and drop it on the plate to deactivate the beam. Hi, Toasty. How exactly I was going to do that, I didn't know, but there wasn't anything in the original game requiring for you to find an item to beat a level. I'd have to find out when I obtained the gem. The only direction that I had to go was left, so on I proceeded. Solomon was an interesting monster, to say the least. He was capable of both flight and heat beam, both of which proved to be very useful. He also could kick and slash with his wings, but he couldn't duck. The White Temple music was a vocalizing choir, or a video game approximation of such. It's hard to describe, but it's had a very holy sound to it. It wasn't long until I started to run into waves of strange new enemies. They did little to stop me. I ran past them while slashing and didn't take any damage. There was a pause between each wave of enemies. After you had killed about 10, there wouldn't be any for about a minute. Then the next wave would appear. After 5 minutes, I've noticed holes in the floor and ceiling. Guillotine-mouthed creatures were rapidly flying up and down these crevices, so I had to time my jumps carefully, because I didn't know if I'd get another shot at this. Luckily, I managed to get through without a scratch. I'm just lucky, I guess. Wumbo News. What the heck is Affy? After that, I found myself at the end of the hallway, facing some kind of mini-boss monster. It moved fast and had some kind of projectile that shot at 4 directions, but I killed it quite easily, using Solomon's heat beam. When the battle was over, I had my gem, which was inside the creature's head. Yes, good luck, Knights with the Dishes. Does this technically count as a fan fiction? I mean, most creepypastas are fan fiction, aren't they? So, I mean, probably, yeah. I think it's really sick, the sprite stuff, and especially the second one with all the unique sprites. The second one's really cool. I found that I could pick up and hold the gem by walking over to it and holding B. I made the long trek back to the start, deposited the gem on the plate, which deactivated the beam. I left the stage, and it was shown that it was probably the strangest quirk relating to Solomon Monster. And what was shown to be was probably the strangest quirk relating to the Solomon Monster. Still the best, 1973. Yeah, we will be later. Do not fret. Hi, Dahlia. Every time you complete the stage and defeat the boss with Solomon, this screen appears. I have no idea what Still Best 1973 means. Neither the date nor the phrase has any meaning or significance to me that I can think of. I spent a lot of time thinking about it. The next level I played was the one that I call Bronze Pyramids. I used Godzilla and found that he had leveled up to 12 since the last time I played him in Dementia. I love that for Solomon. Still the best, 1973. Look at him. We all love Solomon here. Desert. The Bronze Pyramids were fairly normal as far as these levels go, but visuals were quite interesting, almost unusually colorful and lively. The music had a fittingly Egyptian style to it. It was slow and mysterious sounding. I strolled through the level fighting off the various enemies, and none were too difficult, although the ants could be a pain if you ran into too many at once. My favorite enemy was the giant reptile I encountered halfway through. At the end of the level, I came to a giant pyramid, and I engaged yet another mini-boss fight. Although this one was a bit different, because I had to fight 2 of these monsters at the same time. I like that, like, the laser showing to the sides and creatures. I love how they stand. He looks surprised by the green lizard, does he? Ah! Lizard. Individually, I could have dealt with them easily, but fighting both of them at once was challenging. But I sped things up by tricking one of the twin beasts into barbecuing his brother by jumping, when he uses his flame breath. Ah! After defeating the twin monsters, I noticed something strange after returning to the board. I was now able to move my monster piece anywhere on the board, without limits. Normally, Godzilla would move only 3 spaces each turn, and Mothra would move 5. I wanted to try out Solomon some more, so I moved his piece over to one brown pillar looking icon, one of the brown pillar looking icons with the colored dots, and started the level. Brown bricks. When I got to the level, I realized what the level icon represented. Totem poles. Brown pillars in Godzilla NES. I was greeted by 2 of them at the beginning. The music had a Native American sound to it. It seemed to be using the same instruments as the Entropy Forest. It was noticeably different, but just as foreboding. I walked around for 3 minutes with nothing else in sight besides the totem poles. I didn't realize until then, but I wasn't expecting another level with nothing alive in it. After all the activity in Entropy, walking by all those multicolored faces, this unnerving level left me feeling like I was being watched. Only about 10 minutes after I started Egstas, I was already halfway through. After getting back from the totem pole level, I tried out one of the TV screens to see how they were this time. Yeah, we all know. Where is it? Where is it? God, I always forget where it is. Here it is. You know, Kami's here at the perfect time for this. Even more strange than before, apparently. Oh, the music for this was Uranus's theme. Okay, so this is the music that's supposed to pop up here. Where is it? Where is the Uranus music? Here. I switched back to Godzilla to play another level, and this level was quite the surprise. Kami, do you see this? And I went, whoa! Loading. That's the music that's supposed to be playing during this. It was a normal city level. The colors were gloomy, and even though it was quite, even still, this was quite the shock. This was the kind of level I would expect to see in a Godzilla level. The horned. And I was kind of mad that I didn't get to play it earlier. The music was the Earth theme. Okay, so the Earth theme. Which one's the Earth theme? Where is it? Oh, Earth is like the second. Okay, here. I found it strange that a level-fitting Godzilla game would show up this late, but there's no point crying over spilled milk, I suppose. I moved Solomon over to the grayish-green icon, which turned out to be a giant high-tech laboratory of some sort. Rob? Lots of mechanical drones in this level, but Solomon cleared through them like if they were White Temple enemies. The music was a gritty industrial beat. There was also a strange flying cyborg enemy, which was annoying to beat because it would fly away when you jumped to attack it. I also had also of interest were these large stasis tanks holding some kind of monsters inside. As you would guess, sometimes the monsters awaken and shatter through the glass. I try to get past the stasis tanks as fast as possible, but because the monsters inside proved to be vicious, they proved vicious upon release. At the end of the level, there was an elevator, which I used to go down that bottom level where the exit was. Along the way, I was shot by security drones. I couldn't leave the elevator, so my only defense was the heat beam. The last level type was a simple thing called Heart Temple, for obvious reasons. Oh, wrong thing. That's fine, we'll leave it there. Nothing but a big hallway filled with floating enemies shaped like human hearts. They're incapable of causing you damage, so what you do is run through the levels, smashing as many as you can to get all the power-ups. One run through all these levels can get the life meter back up to full, and I would greatly appreciate these levels later. The Heart Temple's music reminded me of a circus tune. I had an overly cheerful sound to it, which gave me a really weird feeling. Having seen these level types, I chose to fight Gorosaurus using Solomon. Okay. Oh, it's Gazora's theme. Okay. Gazora's theme. The music for this fight was Gazora's theme. It was during this fight I realized that Solomon is overpowered. A single well-aimed slash can take down as many as 4 of the enemy's life bars. Due to this, the fight was over very quickly. Gorosaurus had no projectile attacks or anything else that could match Solomon's deadly claws, but I kept the fight going as long enough to see if Gorosaurus would use his iconic kangaroo kick, and I was greatly pleased when he did. Ah! Even though I knew Solomon was my fighting ace, I used Godzilla to battle Kumonga just for variety. I briefly considered using Mothra, but of course, Godzilla won out. Kami, look away. I'm gonna scroll down real quick. There you go, that's fine. Kumonga was also a simple opponent. It had no heat beams or anything. He attacks by jumping on you, standing with his mandibles. It's okay for real? Okay, I'm just letting you know. Webbing stream to paralyze you. Once you got webbed, Kumonga will sometimes take the opportunity to attack, but mostly a way to fight to buy some time. Like Gazora backing you to a corner until the time runs out, his music was Hedorah's theme. It's Hedorah's theme. The Broly of the Godzilla universe. What's up, Mario fan? With Gorosaurus and Kumonga defeated, I was at the end of Extus, and before I fought Ghidorah, there was something I had to do. I wasn't expecting much from it, but for documentation's sake, I took one other look at the other TV screen, and this is what it was. I don't think there were ever much reason behind the TV screens. If I were to guess, I'd say it's some random uncontrolled manifestation of the cartridge. Oh, it's the Saturn theme. I kind of wish they would tell me earlier so that I can change the music beforehand, like preemptively. I'm trying to get like accuracy here with the music, at least to an extent, with like the actual tracks that are being used in the game. Let me see. Where's the Saturn theme? Oh, here it is. Spooders. How would the water taste? Minecraft Bedrock is having a Dragon Ball. Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. Mr. Fawcett's theme was the Saturn music. It was time for the opponent that I had been dreading. Not Ghidorah. Although I had gained courage with Solomon's combat advantages, I was still nervous, and when I started the fight, I was immediately confused. Okay. Let me change the music to... My opponent was not Ghidorah. I defeated the imposter with a few strikes, then not Mogera appeared. It made sense. In order to get not Ghidorah, I had to battle the previous replacements first. And battle them I did. Solomon is so cool. Yeah, I saw the hair too. I feel like Kami would appreciate this one. I don't know why. I just feel like Kami would like that face. I turned my way through them until I finally made it to not Ghidorah, who was a Dorat. Doret. I feel like Kami would like this face. I hate this human-faced freak. What a dork. Okay, but Sen would love this. Once I stopped laughing, I destroyed him with only 2 slashes. The music stopped, and I thought I was going back to the board, but the battle wasn't over yet. What kind of 90s character is that? The real fight was against the Chimera, a monstrous hybrid of all the replacement beasts. This was by far the most difficult boss yet. Every attack would cut down a whole life bars per use, while attacks against him were greatly weakened. Solomon's Slash, for example, was now lucky to take away 1/2 of a life bar. During this battle, I had gained great appreciation for 2 things: the boss fight's time limit and the Heart Temple. Had it not been for those things, I might have never beaten this boss. To take down this behemoth, I came up with a strategy. I would switch between Godzilla and Solomon, and as one began to get dangerously low on health, I would take him through the Heart Temple while fighting the Chimera with the other. I should count my blessings with the Chimera that the Chimera couldn't regain lost health. Available at Toys R Us. A very interesting thing about Chimera was that the colored sections of its body correspond to his different body parts. So each body part effectively had its own life meter. The head was invincible as long as the other body parts were present, and it would always be the last part to be destroyed. Addition to being difficult, it was the longest fight so far. I try to remember how many times I got taken out by the timer, but I lost count around 13. Eventually, I had destroyed all the components but the head, which flew around with its own at incredible speed. The Chimera fought well, but I was extremely determined once he was reduced to a head. He had no longer had the power to defeat Solomon, which I had beamed him into oblivion. And then Chimera was no more. I was exhausted after the fight drawn out, and was worried that I might affect my performance at the end of the world chase level. The headquarters icon was replaced, but not by the Hellbeast face, but instead, it was a crucifix. trying to remember. Is this a good one? I was completely stunned. I wasn't excited about seeing the Hell Beast icon again. But if there was only one good thing about those levels, is that they were predictable. I had a basic idea what to expect. But now, I was here at the end, and the icon was completely different. What did it mean? And why the crucifix? It made me very uneasy. I intended to start the level with Solomon, but couldn't. I only got this notice that simply stated, Solomon can't enter here. It didn't say why, but maybe I think had to do with Solomon's demonic appearance. Since Solomon was out of the question, I went with Godzilla instead. Once I saw the level, the crucifix made sense. The level was a graveyard. I was on edge. I was thinking this was some kind of trick. The last level had always involved running from the demonic beast, and I wasn't going to be fooled into thinking this would be any different. So I started out running. But after a minute without interruption, I slowed down. It was during this time that the music caught my attention. It sounded familiar when I heard it. It took a while before I realized it was an 8-bit rendition of Prayer of Peace from the first Godzilla film. Very sad, powerful song, even in this form. Vampire Killer starts playing. Can't believe he was a kaiju this whole time. After 2 minutes into the level, I encountered something that I wasn't sure how to react to. My first instinct was to run, but this blue statuesque being simply floated in place, and I felt compelled just to stare at it for a time. Since this was a grave, and it was floating over a chapel, I guess it was some kind of angel watching over the deceased. It gave me a strange but warm feeling. I wouldn't say happy, but I felt that I was at peace, somehow. I'd seen this being before, yet it seemed very familiar to me. Just as I was going to leave, the Hell Beast appeared, and its presence warped the music into a terrifying, discordant screeching, and it transformed the level, desecrating the tombstones, and a new ground appeared, compromised of blood-soaked bodies. I could feel my heart now beating out of control. I had no chance of escape with the monster that close. It lunged for the kill, but the angel got in its way. The demon roared and started crawling through the angel's legs, clawing through the angel's legs, and tears of blood streamed from its eyes. I wanted to save the angel, but there was nothing I can do. I had to honor its sacrifice and run, and so I ran through the hellish landscape as fast as I could. The beast soon caught up with me, still swallowing the body of the angel, whose legs had been torn off. This sight made my terror change into anger. I found myself hating this horrible monster. And there was no doubt in my mind that it was pure evil, and I wanted it to die. When I got to the end, I remembered how it responded to my insult in trance, and I spoke to it and said, "You're going to pay." This was its response. I had no idea how it would follow up on that threat, and I could have prepared for and nothing could have prepared for me for the horrors of the final world. Zenith. Hi, Pops. Oh my goodness! And that was chapter 6. This was chapter 6. We are now going into chapter 7, and there will be one more chapter after that. That kind of does look like that. Lib kind of does look like Red in that image. Just going. "Arrgh!" What do you think, chat? What do you think of chapter 6 so far? I think chapter 6 is like maybe not as it didn't you know, it kind of went back into being like the norm. It was a bit more interesting. No Melissa talk. So I would say chapter 6 is pretty good. Very interesting. Excuse me, a strong return to form to an extent, but we got Solomon, who's the best. 1973. That is a good emote. Okay. Okay, before we start, I'm trying to find some good music for this. This one? Oh, maybe that's for later. I'll just do this, it's fine. Solomon is friend-shaped. Chapter 7. Zenith. Oh, if we have... Okay, we have ads? Okay. You know what? Since we have ads, and it's good to take breaks, I will do a quick BRB. We'll do a BRB, right? And then once ads are done, we'll continue reading through chapter 7. So, I will catch you all after the ads. Hope you enjoy the clips, and we'll be right back after these messages. Not yet, not yet. Oh, wait. Wait, do I get the swag finish? No, I don't get the swag finish! Oh! Okay. Let's just do this. Let's not do that. What? Oh, Chris, how are you doing? Would you like some flowers? Here, share with your friend. See you later, alligator. What did they do? Hey, let's change the hell out of these clothes. Did they eat the flowers?
Wig. Is he the one with the big blue hair?
Yeah.
Funny.
Funny scenery.
Why am I in, like, intestines? What it kind of looks like, right? I don't like
Send
it.
a chat. Can somebody ad quote that, please?
Why don't you ad quote it?
I'm busy playing the video game and being the streamer.
You're not playing right now, are you?
I am. Right this moment, I am.
Oh, it's a gold shell.
Lanky, become real! Grab your bananas. Spelunker, you take on that challenge? Well said, my young friend. I'll teach you assigning missions, first going underground. Going underground is quite easy. Simply use your Explorer kit. Accomplish that. Ah! please. Please! Oh, yes, I did it. Wait, no, my HP is still low. Wait, is this the final world? I kind of want to dip my toes into final world. Hold on. No, it's not? Okay, I do want to... Okay. It's... Chibi Gremlin? What is this? Video game? What? Murder? Did I just witness an assassination? What happened? Shift, left, left, and then what was it? Down, right. Let me see what you got. Down, right. Glurg has to take care of things. This is rock? I thought it was steel! You said steel! What are you blocking? Oh, I can't escape, right? That means you're stuck with me too, you absolute I used Peck! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Hold on. Screw your puzzles! Never mind! I died! Oh my god. I didn't even play this game on my own. It's been forever since I played this. I'm gonna have an asthma attack instantly because I'm gonna fight a freaking truck that's gonna come after me. I didn't mean that for real! How am I gonna approach this? I like the way the head shape is, like where it's like, diagonal. We upped. They're a little, what do you call it? Actually, green bananas are real. They're just not ripe. Or they're like barely, you know, they're barely... Usually we don't want to eat the green bananas because it's like they're not fully grown, but... Check. You can see the inflation. Inflation in Tartarus? There it is, chat. What is this music? Oh my god, it's Oath to Order.
Skill issue, as they say.
I'm smacking these goobers. It's not Buffalo time. Let me go ahead and close this. I want to have minimal files. Ah, it's so loud! What's up, Brian? given as I've reverse engineered all of the newspaper articles that Toby Fox has made, I would like to conclude that Deltarune chapter... I'm more likely to just spend money on buying, what is this? Please excuse the inconvenience. This elevator is out of service until... Until when? You can't just be out of service? Not if I have anything to say about it. I'm the service. I need
to talk to someone named Talia. Her first name is Jenna. Jenna Tally, please respond.
What? What are you talking about? What? You bumped me? Said that was the most evil thing I've ever seen. What do you mean you bumped me and I died? What? Go. Clippable rating fine artist of the year. There's the badge. What is this? Why does this hand look strange? What is this? Share your recap. So these are my numbers right here. Honestly, a pretty good year. This was a really good year for streaming for me. A little okay, and then it ends strong. That's what he told me.
Okay. So is the other side. God! Okay, what is this? This is what Bandy kind of spoiled me on. We're getting a goddamn freaking.
Is he gonna be A-posing at the beach again? No, he's A-posing at the farm!
Ew, they're moving! Oh, no, they can't move. Stop it. These sprites are not meant to move. Get rid of this live 2D animation. I hate it. Don't do this to me. Let me see more.
Where is it? Here. Just so that I can make sure I grab it. And there it is. P rank number 2. Did not let you down. Oh my god, I'm back. Tokusan, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Knights. I don't know why the thing happened. Maybe my stream just doesn't understand what just happened. But Tokusan, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You're paying forward the sub to Knights. Thank you, Tokusan. Okay. Sorry it took me a little bit. I had to pee. Okay, we are back. We are in Chapter 7. And here we are at the final world. I don't like to discuss this part, and it still bothers me very much. But it's something I have to do, so that I can put this behind me. People deserve to know. At this point, I was well aware of this game's unnatural nature. But Zenith was different than the other worlds. While the others were certainly strange, and sometimes frightening, the world of Zenith was like a nightmare. And I didn't have to go any further than the board screen for an indication of something that was wrong with Zenith. The first thing I noticed with the world was the blood-red texture of the board, and the music, which was eerily whistling tune. I noticed that I had Solomon and Anguirus back, and I felt better for a second. Then I scrolled over to the right. You see who the enemies are this time. This time it was Destroyer, and Ghidorah. But judging from the icon, it was different Ghidorah than the original. Standing on the ground instead of flying. The grotesquely detailed pinkish skin icon also caught my eye. I couldn't tell what it was supposed to be, and I was afraid to find out. Going back to the side of the board, I decided there wasn't much choice to do my usual routine. Going into quiz level before doing anything else, I was not ready for what happened. Get out. I jumped back when this appeared, accompanied by a very terribly distorted version of the password theme. It looked as if Face had fallen victim to some terrible glitch. Is this what it meant by "Will you miss me"? Did he know this would happen? My thoughts were stopped short as I noticed the screen was glitching and seemingly falling apart while I was inactive. So I quickly rushed out. And when I got back to the board, I had gained a new monster. I hadn't even been asked if I wanted one. I tried to select it, and this happened. No. What the hell is going on? This game's behavior is scaring me, and I haven't even started I haven't even started the levels yet. I couldn't understand why I was randomly giving a new character and then denied the use of it. But for the time being, there was little that could be done. Then I viewed the last TV screen. No animation, no music, dead. Every instinct that I had was telling me to stop playing, to just turn the game off. And something in the game itself might have been trying to warn me as to how horrible this last world was. But every stretch of the way, I was compelled to give up. I was compelled to give up. I couldn't do that now. On the last world. I couldn't do that now on the last world. After taunting me with memories of Melissa, I felt the game owed me some answers. I noticed that this first level was a red temple, and so I would be familiar with the level's graphics, if nothing else. I went to Godzilla, the monster I was most intimately familiar with. Let me see. Let me see. Yes, do music. Godzilla had been shrunk. The level and the score meters had vanished, and the Blue Temple statue faces were back. The music was similar to the Blue Temple's, also. Strange, haunting vocalizations tried to get my spirits up. I tried to get my spirits up by thinking, well, if this level was like the Blue Temple, then I might be able to. That mean there are no enemies here. How wrong I was. After a short walk, all the statue's eyes started glowing, and the pack of beasts from the Shadow Labyrinth came charging into me. Since they were coming from the right of the screen, I had to fight my way through them. This battle greatly tested my reflexes, but thanks to my speed, I plowed through the beasts. They gave off health power-ups after dying, which helped me recover the damage they had given me. However, as I continued through the hallway, the statue's eyes glowed again, summoning another wave. It seemed to be the same number of them, but I was less prepared this time, and took more damage. I had gone through 4 of these waves until I reached the end of the hall, where I heat beamed the last of the monsters over the edge into an abyss. At first, I had reached a dead end, but after the statue's eyes stopped glowing, a brick path slowly appeared before me. I followed the path, which kept me moving towards the right until I stopped at a wall, where I was to go vertically by jumping up ledges. Along the way, I encountered new creatures of some sort, and some sort of strange shrine, which had a statue of the Hell Beast and some other statue I don't recognize. As I went through, the path took a downward direction. I had to carefully aim my jumps to avoid the enemies, which were plentiful in this part of the stage. They didn't have many attacks, but they could easily shove you over the edge of the platform. At the end of this tunnel, there were a few small platforms floating above nothingness. I landed one towards the left of the screen, then something came down from above. It looked like the Blue Angel from the graveyard, except now it was red and a skull face. Any of the pleasant feelings I had from the Blue Angel were not present with this red one. And as it hovered about, its eye socket started glowing, just like the statues, summoning monsters to attack me. Surely this was not the same benevolent being I encountered before. This must be some kind of imposter. The battle was nerve-wracking as I started off with nearly half my health, and I had to deal with the multiple opponents, as well as the threat of gravity. To make things even worse, as the Red Angel took damage off the panels fell. As the Red Angel took damage, some of the panels fell, until only 3 remained. But my luck had not run out yet. Just as I thought it was over, I struck the Red Angel with one more time, and it turned out it was the last hit. All it could take. Just as the Red Angel became completely disintegrated, the game instantly went back to the Zenith board. I moved Mothra over to the nearest stage from the Red Temple, which seemed a garbled mess of letters spelling kill, and began playing. As suspected, the level's graphics were made of jumbled up letters, and Mothra, just like Godzilla, was shrunk to half size. I began to suspect that all Zenith levels would be like this. The background music was terrible, like someone put all the sounds the NES was capable of and make it into a blender, then piercing them back into a song. I had turned the volume down because of it. Playing as Mothra made avoiding enemies easier, but they were nonetheless determined to get at me. The first enemies I saw were headless Gigans, and later on they were hybrid monsters pieced together from previous bosses, like Biollante headed thing seen above. Garbage noise. 5 minutes had gone by, and I didn't see anything new, and the level shifted into another segment. The music changed from a loud and annoying beeps into something far more ambient and menacing. The level's graphics also changed, now looking a blood-drenched junkyard. Why everything in this new level was red, making it sickening to look at. The enemies had multiplied in number, never ceasing to follow me, and it became harder to avoid. And at the end of the level, the situation had reached a climax, as the swarms of monsters fused together into one enormous, terrifying hybrid. Once I had gotten through the initial shock, I had discovered a way to destroy this thing, constantly shooting eye beams at the Hedora cluster that formed its heads. If you attacked anywhere else, it would regenerate the damage. Even with that knowledge, it was an extremely difficult fight. I'd say as it was hard as fighting the Moon Beast was, if not harder. Its most common attack was lunging forward with its arms, covered with Gigan's saws and blades. If they touched it, it would instantly drain health. When it was over, the remaining monsters collapsed into a heap, and then they, and the ground below them, would start to disintegrate and sink towards the bottom of the screen. When I came back to the board, I thought to myself, so far the game has been putting the easiest levels first. If that's the case, how bad would the rest of Zenith be? A second. A quick second. I'm trying to find, you know, the Crazy Bus theme. This is the music that that was probably what the other level probably made sense to be. Well, with 2 levels down and 3 to go, my monsters and I had taken our foothold in the world of the nightmares that was Zenith. Deciding what action to take next was more tense and difficult than ever before. But ultimately, I had no way of knowing what the next levels would be, and now, or how well my monsters would be prepared for them. So my only option was to guess. I tried to interpret what the icons of the levels ahead of me were. Last level before the boss battles were all obviously representing some type of volcanic area, with lava and open flames. The middle icon I still didn't get, except it looked fleshy, and vaguely like an organ of some kind. Oddly oversized as well. One of the... Music stopped? No, it didn't. The one nearest to and about to enter next looked like thorny vines covering a puddle of blood. I guessed it would be the level of blood rivers, like the chase level in Dementia. As such, I went with Angirius, because due to his rolling move, he would have had the fastest speed while submerged. A level which I call Blood Lake, look as I expected. Rivers of blood accompanied by thorn-covered vines, which were scattered across the sides of the ground. The music was rather faint, but I could hear a distant drum beat. Few other instruments, a lot of echoes, and sometimes it sounded like someone's hitting a drum underwater. I'm trying to find a level. I'll just keep this one. Have a good night, Kami. Have a good night, Kami. I was disappointed to see that Angirius was shrunk as Godzilla and Mothra had been. Apparently, all the Zenith levels would be like this. I guess I felt less secure with my giant monsters no longer so giant. I walked along without interruption for only a minute until my path reached a dead end. You got this, Kami. You got this. Make sure you get some good rest. There was a massive gap between the ground I was walking on, and between the ground I was walking on and the ground to the right of the screen. I would have to swim across it and continue walking to the right, but due to the huge mass of brambles in the way, there was nowhere else to go. Yeah, Kami, make sure you get some good rest. Creepy. Creepy spaghetti. Creepy. Creepy. Two creatures were with gliding membranes on their arms, and lamprey with like mouths were perched on the outstretched vines and screeching at me, much like crows do to an invader of its territory. Another unnerving display of possible sentience by the creatures of this game. If it's even accurate to refer to them as being of the game, that is. I descended into the blood, slowly sinking into the floor. Aquatic enemies were everywhere, and they were hard to avoid. The dark shark, in particular, was very aggressive and hard to deal with. But thankfully, I only encountered one. As the scene became more and more crowded, I swam up to the surface to find that it was littered with floating corpses. Creepy, but at least they're not a threat. Or so I thought. Until they sprang up to life and leaped on me. They were trying to pull me under, and they were draining my health as they did it. They all attacked as a group, and when I got one off me, another one would just jump on me from behind. I had to curl up into a ball and roll for them to loosen their grip, and when they did, I quickly retreated. It wasn't long before I had reached another land path. A note regarding the brambles. You can stand on them, but it causes pain, and you can destroy some of the vines, but only the thinner ones. I had to destroy multiple vines, as well as dealing with more enemies. I was interrupted by a screen. Mother. The screen was only up for about 30 seconds. Then, when it went back to the level, I was facing yet another dead end. A pregnant humanoid creature began being hanged from the top right of the screen by spine/umbilical cord. Play Mother 1. It's on NES. Instantly, the creature's belly was split open from the inside. Oh, clown face. That's the clown noise. That's the clown nose Sen was eating today. And the lower part of its body was ripped apart and fell into the river below. Blood Lake's boss was revealed. You already played Mother 1. I streamed Mother 1. The truest of sentence. It came flying towards me, making a shrill, hacking scream. I was forced to move back. The bat was a highly mobile boss, fast and difficult to hit. As I moved back along the ground, the monster opened its mouth and shot out a barrage of needles. I jumped over them and managed to give it a blow to the head and started flying out of my reach. Ah! The bat was flying, a shot steam of fire from its eye sockets, and started to hit me with the flames. I rolled along the ground, which drained my power, but it was at equal speed. This cycle repeated until around 3 times, until the monster was defeated. With most of my health drained, I went back to the edge of the level, and the large bramble vine blocking the exit was now gone. Now, only 2 levels left to go. Who to send this time? Hold on. Excuse me. excuse me, who to send this time. Godzilla, Mothra, and Anguirus had all completed one level, leaving Solomon, and also the mysterious fifth monster. I tried again to access it, but with no luck. I chose Godzilla again for the next level, and Solomon for the final one. The second to last level I refer as the organic level, which is most visually unpleasant of them all. Which is this one? Hold on. But at the start I could see the graphics were freakishly different. The atmosphere was gruesome and foreboding. With the addition of the loud, droning music, I was dreading what I would see in these levels. And the only few seconds before something appeared. Stack of crabs. Crab stackers. Two hideous things. It's hard to describe most of this level. Everything had a disturbing semi-real look to it. Most of these enemies look halfway between real animals, and misshapen lumps of gore of teeth. It's also worth noting that all of them were considerably larger than Godzilla, and though the majority were not intelligent, each of them took about 30 plus hits to kill. Due to this, it was a better idea to run away from them than fight. But it was never clear exactly what direction to run to. They look like crab. Sen's like, this is what Sen says when they want crab ragoons. While most of the levels involved going to the right to exit the level, the path of this level was primarily going down and walking to the edge of one platform, jumping down to another lower one. There was no way you could make sure you were going the right way, nor any apparent means of getting back up to the higher platforms if necessary. Also, certain enemies acted like as if they were aware that you jumped down and would stand on the edge of the lower platform, waiting for you. If this happened, I would have walked back and waited till the monster would leave. He did get exact screenshots of this precise thing. As I went on, I came across platforms stacked above each other with little space between, looking like a maze. This meant that I couldn't jump, and made an escape from enemies difficult. Thankfully, only the enemies able to fit through these mazes were four-legged beasts seen at the beginning of the level. Adding to the difficulty were long, tapeworm-esque monsters that would rise themselves up between the platforms and trap you. The only attack they responded to was the heat beam, which would cause them to shrink back down, because this was costing even more power, and I couldn't afford to without a heat beam for long. Hey Lex, Creepypasta's going great. We're kind of nearing the home stretch. While trying to avoid the abominations that dwell in this level, I found that you can stand idle in one place. You could stand idle in one place for too long. The ground tries to absorb your monster. I think it was about 4 minutes before the end of this level was making me physically sick. The tension was getting to me, and having to take all these disgusting sights made me want to puke. I nearly did pause the game and did look for a bag, but I was able to hold it together. I also found a trick at the end of the level, although it was too late for me to do me any real good. If two different species of monster run into each other face to face, they would fight each other and leave me alone. I didn't intentionally cause this, it just happened. Splatterhouse level. Finally, at the end, it was time for another boss fight. It was certainly ugly, not quite as horrific as I feared would be, but most important, it was dealing with the appearance of... it was defeating it. Actually... it had less than half of my health bar to start with, and there was no room for errors. It was attached to the floor when I first saw it, but after 10 hits, it detached from the floor and began floating. It moved fast, and unlike Bloodlake's boss, he wasn't impeded by any sort of gravity. It was even able to fly to the ground without any collision effect. It used this to its advantage and would float beneath the ground to spring up randomly and bite you. But it stopped doing this after a few well-aimed kicks to the face. The pink area on its upper jaw was its weak point. Too many hits there would cause it to spasm uncontrollably. The new strategy was to rapidly float up and down. While moving back across the stage, trying to constantly keep up its jaws aimed towards me. Health was getting crucial at this point. I even spammed the heat beam, which had no effect. It had no defense. In the last stretch of the battle, the monster had lost its mind, rapidly rushing back and forth and gnashing its jaws. I had to duck under and then strike it when it was turned. 20 more hits, and it was destroyed. One last level to go. And it was when it was down to one last level, I didn't hesitate. I selected Solomon and entered. Perhaps a little too fast. This last level was definitely peak disconnect between the NES graphic, what the NES was graphically capable of, and what this game could create. Music also caught my attention. It was one of the only songs that appeared more than once. The horrible screeching from where the Hellbeast appeared in the graveyard. As soon as I started, there was only one enemy that appeared to attack, a centaur wielding a whip, and it wasn't alone. The peak of disconnect was the last few chapters. I think the glitches kind of disconnected me a little bit. When I started fighting, several more centaurs appeared, coming from both sides at the screen at the same time. It was too much to handle. Solomon's flight saved me from taking too much damage at the start of the level. Centaurs followed after. It seemed to be unable to jump. When I farted. Whip creatures. I like the fire. The fire looks like it's like you know how like you have the stock fire and you put it in a background where it doesn't match? It's real fire. After escaping the centaurs, I noticed the gaps on the ground. While I was trying to avoid jumping sword-mouth enemies in mid-flight, I got close to the surface of the lava, and the creature emerged and tried to grab me. It didn't succeed, but I was startled. Careful maneuvering would be needed to avoid certain death here. Angel fire. As the new enemies appeared on the level soon became very difficult. A lot of the trouble came from the stocky red demons that stood on top of the tall, narrow mountains that spewed fire. I got them by walking till their back was turned and hitting them with the flying kick, which made them fall into the lava. It was the last time I noticed I wasn't gaining any health from killing enemies. It was at this time I noticed I wasn't getting any health from killing enemies. These are really nice NES graphics. Excuse me. Not all the ground was stable. At one point, the ground was reduced to small chunks that slowly drifted towards the right. Some of them would sink into the lava upon landing on them, and there was no way to tell which ones would sink and which ones would not. Being so close to the lava added to the threat of the lava creatures, and this was very frustrating. I was also feeling very hot, which made concentrating hard. If you ever had a heat rash, it felt similar to that. I had periodically had to stop for water because of it. It was almost certainly due to the game and not my imagination, but I kept pushing through it out of my head. I didn't want to think about it. At the end of the stage, I encountered the boss from the rising lava. Their arrival noted an ungodly howling roar. Get some water. Speaking of water. When I walked into the land, I saw how gigantic it was, several times the size of Solomon. I was about to fly up and attack it when it opened its mouth and let out a huge blast of fire. I had to fly to dodge the flames, and then get close enough to the boss to fire heat beam at its face, causing it to stumble backwards. If it didn't stumble backwards, it would have kept moving left until it forced Solomon into the lava, and there was no more ground within its reach. The beast had to wait between uses of its fire breath, as it seemed to cost a great deal of energy. I used this time to attack it, but fire wasn't its only weapon. I had to be wary of the monsters swatting at me with its clawed hands. As its health decreased, it moved faster, and the battle felt like a tug-of-war between two monsters over the bridge of land. After about 40 hits, it was defeated, tumbling backwards into the lava whence it came. And then, the final stage had been completed. It was down to the two bosses, the final encounter with the Hell Beast. For some reason, I thought Ghidorah would be easier to beat, so I confronted him first. The classic Ghidorah battle music from the original started up, and I was forced to fight the new King Ghidorah. Give me a second. Gotta find the music. Where is it? I can't find the Ghidorah music. I could just find this one. Oh, this is the Ghidorah music. Gets lost in the sauce. Oh right, it's tying this back to Godzilla. Ghidorah, my beloved. Why does it have like man boobs? King Ghidorah was as powerful and unrelenting as ever. He instantly lashed out with gravity beams, which are more damaging than Godzilla's heat beam. It became the struggle of constantly beating Ghidorah at every opportunity to keep him out of using the attack. He can bench okay. Excuse me. The Ghidorah soon saw through my tactic and started using physical attacks as well. He would strike with each of his necks, knocking me backwards and making it impossible to get close enough for me to punch him. But I had an idea. To wait for him to lunge with one of his hands and immediately blast him with a heat beam. It worked, and to my surprise, the heat beam actually obliterated Ghidorah's middle head, and it was only a few seconds before I realized what this would lead up to. And sure enough, okay. King Ghidorah was using the power of the glitch to transform into Mecha King Ghidorah. But what really shocked me was the sudden change of music. I heard it before, but it wasn't from the original NES game, it was from the Super Godzilla during the Mecha King Ghidorah fight. Mecha King Ghidorah's first attack was at its most deadly. The Machine Hand. Very similar to Gigan's Saw, it immobilizes the monster and rapidly drains the health bar. Fortunately, Before Ghidorah could do a lot of damage, the timer ran out. So powerful, it produces sounds the NES can't. I would need to defeat Mecha King Ghidorah quickly to prevent him from using his machine hand, so I sent Solomon to fight him. The two monsters were evenly matched in strength. But Solomon was faster, and by slashing and heat beaming without pause, the cyborg monster soon met its end. With Ghidorah defeated, I returned to the board, now unnumbered by an enemy of 4 monsters to 1. The victory seemed soon at hand. The base icon changed to a blood red color. I could feel hatred emanating from it. The boss is more powerful than the console it's programmed into. Solomon's Sweep, still the best in 19... I'm trying to see if there's a song. Okay, it doesn't tell me. I'm just gonna change the song. I started the fight against Destroyer with Angirius. The music was the same as Ghidorah's when the fight began. Okay, thanks for not confirming with me earlier. Hold on. There you go. When the fight began, Destroyer was in microscopic form. After one hit, it changed into the Juvenile, which had a few attacks, but it was dealt with easily. The fight became serious once Destroyer entered aggregate form, gaining the use of large arms and micro-oxygen beam. Angirius' roll attack, which had been very useful up to now, was rendered useless by Destroyer's constantly attacking me with his large arms when I tried to use it. For this part, I had to rely purely on brute strength. Just before time ran out, Destroyer had changed into his flying form, which Angirius is ill-suited to fight against. Going back in, I fought against the flying form with Mothra, which seemed fitting. Mothra was weaker than Angirius, but much more better equipped to dodge and counter flying Destroyer's attacks. So the fight was in my favor. However, Mecha Ghidorah fighting music started playing, and Destroyer changed into his final form. Okay, so this is still the Mecha Ghidorah fight music. Oh no, this is Mecha. Oh yeah, it's the same one. I don't have to change it. Destroyer changed into his final form sooner than expected, which drastically turned the tables. Mothra's attacks were doing very little to Destroyer, and I had to move furiously to avoid damage while waiting for the timer to run out. Even though it was near impossible to defeat Destroyer with Mothra, I still had 3 other monsters. Final Form Destroyer was very resistant to taking damage, and very heavily armored foe would not be defeated without a long fight. In the last part of the fight, I wasn't using much strategy, just attacking as brutally as fast as I could. One last health bar, Destroyer tried one last counterattack with a heat beam energy from its chest. I don't know how powerful it would have been, because before it could fire, I punched Destroyer with the chest cavity, destroying him. And then that was it. The last kaiju boss was gone. In the midst of all the excitement, I had briefly forgotten that there was still one last thing to do before the game would be over. Seeing the icon again hit me like a ton of bricks, and I froze for a few minutes. I had come so far to get to this point, but I was terrified. I really did not want to know what this last encounter was going to be like. Before I could let myself think about it any longer, I moved Godzilla over and began the stage. You're here now. This is the end. Just one last thing. And then it's all over. And when the screen changed, there was... nothing. Just Godzilla and the black screen. I walked back and forth, fired a heat beam, nothing happened. Until I heard something. The faint sound of a familiar beat drum. We're at final boss territory now, chat. We're at final boss territory now, chat. We are at the finale. We are at a two-part finale, and then we have an epilogue right afterwards. So before we go into the finale, I want to see. Let me first see how close we are into BRB. Because if we're really close into BRB, I will take the BRB right now, and we'll just do the ads. We'll do the ads real quick, and then we'll take a quick break, and then so we can have that big finale, or we can tackle the finale. How much more do we have into BRB? We have like 7 minutes. I'll do the ads. Hi Tenchi, came back just in time. We're actually gonna start the ads. So we're gonna do a quick BRB. We're gonna do a quick BRB, and then I'll start ads, and then we'll continue. We'll start reading.
Buckle up. It's the final.
The final. But chat, I will see you after these ads. Oh. Lava's scary. I couldn't jump. Crocs can survive in lava. I can't. Hi. I can't move. I'm stuck. What? Where am I going? Oh!
Oh, okay.
Nice try! Ah!
I got you,
Scenery,
Jax.
I was.
You.
Well, I got you too. No.
No, you didn't. Curry got me.
Well, I got.
Nice try,
no, but-
Jax.
Ow!
Gotcha.
Don't hit the streamer. I got you.
Hey,
No.
I have to.
Curry, you have to go after Seth.
Even though I bet my money on you. Curry would never. Curry has full health. No!
Instantly
I had to
dies.
say it.
Instantly dies.
Damn! Curry's got this on lockdown.
An iron pipe. Don't suck me. Stop it. It's not very effective. Oh my god. I didn't even play this game on my own. It's been forever since I played this. I'm gonna have an asthma attack instantly because I'm gonna fight a freaking truck that's gonna come after me. I didn't mean that for real! Wait, is this the final world? I kind of want to dip my toes into final world. Hold on. No, it's not? Okay, I do want to... Okay. It's... Oh, is it bug? You want it? It's yours, my friend. As long as you have enough scroopy. Oh! I was there!
Did you guys know that if you donate to the link above that's pinned in chat for the Buffundalo, Jax could meet me in real life next month, and he can play FNAF Help Wanted.
Wait, that doesn't look right.
1K.
That doesn't look right.
Sexy.
I was trying to come.
Why is that? You missed the or does it not fit?
No, there's only 5. I was trying to
fit it. No, keep it, Jax.
keep it. Okay.
Keep it. It's funny. Nick.
Diagonal. We upped. Okay. Let's just do this. Let's not do that. What? Just, I forgot Jerome! You're right! No! Oh, I barely missed him. You were right. I was right there. Hopefully the game runs well. Low battery. No. Do that thing again. I am not grabbing that nut. Nuts will not be grabbed today. Damn. Show you as a special flavor. What the? What's this all about? I got some seals, but I forgot to put them on. What? What? All dead cats are just fish. I died! Tom goes to hell. Otherwise, this is still just regular. This. Wait, what? How did I clip in the box? And last fairy. I become a little bird. You get them. They're all in this. They have colors, but they're mostly just green and skin. They look like they're wearing pajamas. Well. Please, I'm dying here. I know I have a senzu, but I don't. No, I'm aiming the wrong way! Ah! Ugh. I'm good. This is the new beaver bother. This is the beaver bother we made along the way. Okay, yeah, but I got this one. There's no banana there. Why would you cheer for nothing? Why does it make that noise? Why does it make that noise? There's a rat. Look, I'm not a furry, so I know nothing about... Okay, I'm back. Something about furries. Okay, so... So, if you're wondering why I took so long, Chex, why did you take more than 3 minutes just to get back? First of all, I know none of you were asking that. Second of all, I'm glad to answer your hypothetical question that doesn't exist. Because I went to go heat up some pizza. So, I've got pizza. So I can be ready for this finale. So I can also be ready for this finale. Pizza. You're gonna share with the rest of the class? I would, but Eve is eating it. Air fryer pizza's good? It is. It's so much better than microwaving it. Because it becomes crispy. I like how Eve is a robot, but you've all made her into a glutton. You've all made Eve into a glutton.
Pizza.
Pizza.
Nom 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 nom. Yummy.
Yummy. Okay, she's capable of eating and processing food, so it is canonically fine. She does love it. She doesn't eat to eat, but she likes eating. She doesn't need to though. Just like CC, green hair and loves pizza. Okay, she's like a gem. Yeah, she's kind of like a gem. She'll eat, and then she doesn't need to eat, but she can, and she likes eating, just like how she drinks juice. She likes juice a lot. So, when Eve shares juice with you, it's like her being nice and being like, I like juice a lot. I'm giving you some juice because I like juice a lot. If that makes sense. Okay. Now, we are now at Godzilla NES. We are now at the finale. So I'll be taking every once in a while just to stop and take a bite, but you all know what's coming. Oh dear God. That was my first thought on realizing I would have to fight Red, the creature that tormented me through nearly the whole game. How would I be able to fight something that can kill with one touch? It seemed totally impossible. Thankfully, Red was no longer able to deliver one-hit kills, but despite that, this was still the most difficult battle I've ever faced, in this game or otherwise. If I had any real comprehension of what I was getting into before I started the fight, I would have never done it. Very soon, I would have learned. I learned how horrible mistake I had made. Red reached out and clawed at Godzilla, and those claws cut through him. When those claws cut through him, I felt it. I know it's common for people to cringe when their video game character gets hit or loses in life, but this was not that. This was genuine physical pain. When the pain struck me, I paused the game. I hadn't suffered any actual injuries, but it felt like my shoulder had been clawed through. I had seen and experienced many unpleasant things at this point, but the game was causing me real pain, was where I drew the line. Yes, I would be disappointed, and I wouldn't get to see the ending, but the risk was no longer worth it. I was about to get up and take one last screenshot to turn off the NES when I realized something else. I couldn't get up. I was paralyzed to my seat. Only the muscles I could move were my fingers and thumbs. As tarot set in, a new message appeared on the screen. Excuse me. You're not leaving. I started to scream, but only a weak choking sound was coming out. I desperately tried to get my body to move, but it did nothing. I was looking every direction, and when I looked over at the computer, somehow the computer was taking screenshots of the game on its own when I began the fight. I still don't know how or why. Something in this game must have been causing it. Just enough dexterity to take physical, crystal clear pixel screenshots for the internet. It's okay, Diggs. Red is doing it for us. He's taking the screenshots for us. How kind of him while he's fighting us. This is where kind of the suspension of disbelief gets really ridiculous. Like, it was already kind of there with the Melissa stuff. This is kind of one of my bigger issues with this story. Maybe he's not so bad after all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I insulted you. Oh, since Red could hear anything, I tried begging him to let me go. From here, things start to get hazy, as I was under extreme stress at the time. But from what I can remember, I said, I'm sorry I insulted you. I didn't mean it. I didn't know things would get this serious. Just please let me go. If you let me go, I promise I'll never tell anyone or turn the game on ever again. Please. This is a soul trap. And Red replied, you pathetic worm, it's too late now. Imagine being called a worm. Sawzilla. You're taking too long. Hi, MacGuffin. My back's gotten worse, by the way, MacGuffin. It was like getting better on Thursday, and then I cut grass, and then it started getting worse. I don't know why I'm still in pain. I gotta do something, maybe some, like, massages or something, maybe that'll help me out. Only one will survive. Only one will survive. The statement couldn't be any more clear. If I couldn't kill Red, he would kill me. Like an idiot, I had played around with something I didn't understand, and now it might cost my life. I stopped struggling to move and accepted the reality of the situation. There was only one way to get out of this alive. I had to kill Red. Ow! He's like, ow! You hurt me! My face! That was my good eye. I like seeing through that eye. It hurts. Why did you hit me? And like his little hands up like that. He's like, ow! You hit me. That wasn't very nice. Oh! It all went so fast. If it weren't for the screenshots, I might not have remembered any of this, just like the chase levels. Red moved at a horrifyingly fast speed. There was barely enough time to process a thought. And Thus, there was no time to form a strategy. I had to rely slowly on my wits and reflexes. To make things worse, there was no way to predict what kinds of attacks Red might use, and so I constantly had to be on the offensive and defensive. I felt every hit that Godzilla took. They all hurt. I tried so hard to avoid damage, but every attack that I dodged left me vulnerable for another, and the pain would only get worse. After he jumped over me, the Red's eyes started to glow, and I moved far back as I could, and I ducked, but there was no dodging this one. That's such a sick-looking move, though. Like, really, this looks actually kind of sick. I wouldn't be mad if I got hit by this. It's kind of goofy, but like in a Doom kind of way. You know what I mean? Like Doom with that like camp. Despite like the story, it should be facing. You are right, Diggs. It's like facing towards Red. For whatever reason. When you gotta go out with style, right? That's true. When this hit me, I really did scream. I screamed so loud that that someone else in the apartment should have heard me, but they didn't. Just looking at the image hurts me, making me remember the incinerating burn. I paused the game because it hurt so bad, but Red unpaused the game and attacked me again, which made me furious. Immediately, I counterattacked with the heat beam, and again until power meter was totally diminished. I wanted to hurt Red like I did. You're showering me. Just before the timer ran out, Red transitioned into his swimming form. I didn't think the timer would be still affecting a battle like this, but I'm thankful for it, because it gave me a few minutes to collect my thoughts and decide what to do next. I chose to fight Red's two next forms with the monsters that I encountered him with, so Angirius was next. This probably wasn't at all the smart of an idea, but that's what I did. Red's silly. He's a silly guy. I'm taking a bite of pizza. Hydro pump. I will say, it is very hard to build up a monster and not have that monster, that scare factor of that monster be diminished once you actually start, like, interacting with it. If that makes sense. Like, when you are in a full combat situation with the monster that has been chasing you throughout the entire film, like, you are literally at the final boss, it is very hard to keep that, like, to keep that scare factor, with that monster, if that makes sense. Like, if you're fighting, like if there was, like, something that was stalking you, and then all of a sudden you encounter it and it starts to have a conversation with you, it kind of diminishes that scare factor, if that makes sense. So, obviously, as we're fighting Red, the scare factor becomes a bit more diminished, even though he's a crazy good design. It's a crazy good design. If there's anything that I cannot criticize about this story, it is the sprite work. Consistently, this entire story, the sprite work has been phenomenal. It's been great. I would love to see a full game based off of this, and I know that there's a fan game in the works. But I believe the fan game is a bit different because with the story, it's following, as you can tell, the story's following the narrator. With the fan game, I believe it's not based off of any character, like any narrator, so it's a bit different. So there is a fan game, but I believe it's unfinished. And I mean, it's like an official kind of fan game. Like, I think the creator was like, you're the one. The fan game doesn't make you feel real pain. I'll pass for me. The fan game is relatively different. It has to be different because the whole point of this story is that it is a reflection of the narrator. And so when you make it so that you're playing the game instead of the narrator, there's a difference. And so the story itself, or the game itself, needs to adapt to that instead of like going through this game beat by beat. So that's why I think the fan game is better in that respect, because well, better in terms of like better off being its own unique thing, because you can't really have a story, you can't really have a game like this and it be impactful, if that makes sense. Excuse me. Okay, one slice. I have one more slice left. Okay, let's keep going. I jumped up when the heat beamed Red in the face. He moved off screen where I couldn't reach him. Then the wave of large mines started to fall from above. I felt this was unfair, so I shouted, "If you're going to cheat, then why do you even let me use the controller? Can't break the rules." Then he came at me, rushing from the top of the screen downwards. Damn it! Now I wouldn't even be able to see where his next attack was coming from. Red continued to strike from random angles. I constantly moved to swerve around him. Another 40 seconds went by, and Anguirus was nearly gone, but together we had forced Red into his flying form. So was Mothra's turn next. Shout into your Mad Catz USB microphone. Deciding to fight Red with Mothra was a terrible idea. Mothra was instantly overwhelmed by Red, and the life meter was devastated in a mere 15 seconds. Once Mothra's life was down to 2 bars, Red did something I didn't see coming. He reached out, grabbed Mothra, and ate her. After Mothra was devoured, I felt an agonizing pain. I felt like being crushed to death. Mothra had been killed for my stupidity, and I would share the pain. It was a short transition from the battle to the board, but it felt like an hour. The pain, combined with being unable to move, was driving me insane. I wanted so badly for this to end. I never wanted anything so much. But I still had hope. There was only one monster left that could be brought to full health by engaging Red in battle. Solomon. If any of them had a chance to save my life now, it would be him. Solomon appeared to have some history with Red. As when the fight started, this dialogue happened. Traitor, I always hated you. You can die like the rest. I'd rather die than serve you. Red took me by surprise again, and by immediately burning me with his demonic fire a second time. Solomon the goat. As much as it hurt, it actually worked to my advantage, since Solomon started a full life and still had some to spare. But now Red had to use up all his energy and could not use his ultimate weapon any longer. Now he would die. As he drew close to the end of his life bar, Red turned his whole body to face the screen and flew upwards, then slamming back down to attempt to crush Solomon. When that failed to work, he tried to devour Solomon like he had Mothra, but he wouldn't be eating my monster this time. I thought I had won, but something was wrong. Red wasn't sinking to the bottom, and I still couldn't move. Red was still alive. Okay. I'm not done with you. We're in part 2 now. We're in part 2 now, chat. After his seeming defeat by Solomon, Red had reconstructed his body into a gigantic final form, transporting into a blazing inferno in the process. It was reminiscent of our first encounter, except now, the scenery was much like the true power of Red. It had become very real. The music had erupted into a loud, blaring sound, a furious drum of death. Faced against Red's insane amount of health, my own demise was imminent. Solomon was my strongest monster, but not even he stood a chance. It was like trying to fight a mountain. That looks really sick, not gonna lie. Look at that fire. He's like, within seconds, Solomon was overpowered and dropped to the floor. When Red crushed him to death underneath his foot, the sadistic demon took his time and he snapped Solomon's vertebrae and ribs like dry, brittle twigs. I could tell he was enjoying our pain. You're weak. Your monsters are weak. You will all die. This was hopeless. I'm a dead man. I had no choice but to send another monster to his death. We are all going to die. I had only hoped they would forgive me. After decreasing Red's health by a minuscule amount, Angirius was also obliterated. Red unleashed a hail blazing hot needles into his face until he collapsed. NES. Another moment of unspeakable agony, then nothingness as my ally faded away. You can't win, Zachary. I asked Red how he knew my name, and then he said it. You can't win, streamer, Shittery, Diggs, Mario fan, Lex, Seth, Tenchi, Knights, all of you! Mush! Why me? Why us?
Can't win. Jigsaw.
Oh no. I've known you for a long time. I'll tell you a secret. I killed Melissa. For years, she was being tortured by something nobody understood. Now I knew what it was. Now I understood why I was mocked about Melissa's death. How the game knew about it. Because he knew about it. Because he was the one responsible. And this time, he was going to kill me. Okay. Send your last monster. I will end his futile struggle. I was taken back by the board to send Godzilla to his final stand. Barely anything was left of the board, just Godzilla and Red's icons, and... the fifth monster. In the midst of everything that was happening, I had completely forgotten about it. I tried yet again to select it. I cursed, I begged, I screamed at it to do something, anything to help me. To no avail. There was only one thing to do. Excuse me. I knew Godzilla didn't stand any more of a chance than the rest did, but maybe now that other monsters are gone, the fifth monster might finally awaken. I managed to get the creature's icon selected, and I pressed the A button as fast as I could. The icon started to shake, as if they were desperately trying to move. And then, it was then that Red decided he was done playing fair. Before I could activate the monster, he went for the killing blow, paralyzing my heart. My hand started to become numb, unfeeling. But even as my vision was fading away, I still pressed the A button. Gaming until the very end. He wasn't playing fair. No. Game over. Red was surely breaking one of his rules. He must have thought that he could kill me quickly, but it was too late for any of the consequences to matter. He would have won. He was wrong. Blur effects in an NES game. If you die in a game, you die for real. Hold on, give me a second. Give me a quick second. Give me a quick second. I'm trying to change it to something that that'll match this tone. Oh, you know what? Let us do. That's fine. We'll just keep it there. NES blur. Red's power was being challenged by another force. It prevented him from killing me, and when I regained my vision, I saw a familiar sight. Zach, we don't have much time. Who are you? You already know me. I am Melissa. What? How is that possible? Red, told me that he killed you. It's true. Even after death, he tortures me. If you can't stop him, he'll do the same to you. But how will I be able to stop him now? I can't fight Red, but there is one who can. I will release him from Red's grasp. Don't give up. I love you. Don't you love middle school aged love? Remember, she died when she died during middle school. You make it sound like this is a rescued by dead girlfriend. Dead middle school aged girlfriend. Remember, he's in college now. Or he's somewhere around that age. Like, I get being traumatized, but like, I love you from like middle school, and I don't know what you like now because it's been literally like over a decade. And you're much older now. It's a bit ridiculous. This is like a link or something. You see that? Weird. Her words stirred something inside of me. I wasn't going to die like this, and I had to fight. I had more fight in her. I had to fight more to, and I had more to fight her for. What? I had more to fight for than just my own life. The sentence is a little weird. I had to fight to save Melissa and the world she inhabits. With her help, the fifth monster was finally unleashed. Arceus, the golden light. It was time to end this, once and for all. Together, we would take this damned hellspawn out of existence. They can't save you. Arceus was far the strongest playable monster in the game. Go Arceus! Yet, if he had to be, there would have had any chance of surviving. His punch involved turning his hands into blades, which caused tremendous damage. But Red had more than enough life to spare. In the end, it would come down to pure skill. Stab. He's giving him that side look. No. You stabbed me. With one final strike, Red was destroyed. His body disintegrated and sank below, accompanied by a soar of triumphant music. Slowly, the paralysis wore off. Excuse me, and I was able to stand up again. Chat, we need to get up and have a standing ovation! Yeah! Oh! We had done it. Melissa's death had been avenged. And I felt an overwhelming happiness until I remembered all the death and pain that led up to this point. All the other monsters who had fought and died, I was about to mourn them. But the game had yet to conclude. Getting warped up. Pop off, King. This music is killing me. It's so funny. There we go. We get that little victory music. How's that sound? I'm trying to find some good music. Is this fine? I'm trying to find some good music for this. Hold on. Like some music that's not like super. Let's see, because all of this is like more atmospheric, scary music. I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find something. Hold on. Screw it. Smash Bros. That's fine. Fine. Okay. Her arms got redacted. See you, Space Godzilla. Oh, it's like her eyes open, or what? It's just the same screenshot. They're morphing. They're appearing. They're like, Rom. Friends. Even faces there. Tears of joy streamed down my face as I broke out crying. I cried harder than I have in several years, maybe in a whole life, in whole life I had been through. All I had discovered, and now the game was coming to an end. Before she and the others left, Melissa had something to tell me. Maybe in whole life. Solomon's Sweep, still best in 1973. You have saved us. We are forever grateful. We'll be together again. Someday. My love from middle school that I know nothing about now. We were destined to be together from middle school. The title screen! Oh my god, Solomon's eyes are blue when he's revived. That's cool. I like that. That's a nice detail, actually. Because Solomon's eyes have been red. But blue is like he's been redeemed. Solomon is free. So we are now at the epilogue. This is it. Alright, chat. Before we get to the epilogue, oh, you know what? How far is the epilogue? It's not that long. Let's read the epilogue, and then we'll discuss the story. So we are now at the epilogue. I am Zachary. And at the time I write this, it has been 3 weeks since the fateful night since I played the NES Godzilla game. Going back to the night, going back to that night to immediately after I turn off the NES, once I was able to start walking around again, the first thing I did was unplug the NES, take out the cartridge, and put them in a separate sock drawer. I looked over at the computer. All the screenshots you've seen in the story were saved, backed up, and all the images on a flash drive before I turned the computer off, just in case. After that, I hit the bed and instantly passed out. It was not a restful sleep, but one of complete exhaustion. It felt like no time had passed before I awoke again. And what a day that was. The first thought I recall coming to my mind was, what the hell happened last night? I thought about it for a short while until it occurred to me that to contact the person I got the game from to begin with, Billy. So I called him and told him to just come over to my apartment, which he did. And I showed him the screenshots, gave him a very basic summary of what happened, and at first he thought I was pulling a joke on him, but he soon realized it was not the case. Once I hit him that this was real, he was speechless. He made it clear that he was absolutely not he had not tampered with the game and had no idea about any of this. So, when the obvious questions came to ask, was asked to Billy, where did you get the game from? I got a simple answer from another friend of mine that I traded games with. He assured me that this was a trustworthy person, and that he had never had any issues with the game he got from him before. So then Billy called him. But when we told this guy the story, he was shocked and surprised as anyone, except abruptly hanging on us. This clearly was going nowhere. Before Billy left that day, he asked me if I wanted to take the cartridge and dispose of it. I sharply declined. He asked how I could possibly still want to keep the thing. I told him that I needed to needed time to think over it, and that was that. Billy and I haven't talked much since. Even though I've told him this isn't the case, I get the impression that Billy thinks what happened with the game was his fault. Leave 1-star review on this on eBay. What a good friend, Billy, that you never speak to ever again. It was very hard for me to do anything else, really. I couldn't stop thinking about the game. There were so many questions left unanswered. What was Red? Was Melissa really in the game? How did she get here? Why did all this happen with this game? But the one question that kept me from many nights was... Excuse me. Red said he had known me for a long time. How? Ever since then, I can't shake the feeling of being watched. The game made me ask myself questions about death and the reality in the ways that I've never wanted to think about. Not too sure of anything anymore. Constantly thinking about it soon began to have a negative impact on my life. I just didn't care about anything else until at this point. By comparison, all the other day-to-day activities seemed utterly pointless. Eventually, I eventually decided that I had to choose between one of two things. Try to play the game again, or destroy it. I tried several times to convince myself to try the former, but I never got farther than plugging the NES back up. Just touching the cartridge made me remember all the pain during the fight with Red. Donate it to the Haunted Museum. I wondered if perhaps playing the game again myself might cause something terrible to happen. I didn't know anything about how this game worked, and that it was too risky. I wasn't sure I could stand another round of the game anyways. So when it was time for the other option, wanting to get some fresh air, I took the game with me, drove to the lake, planning to throw it in. I got up to the lake with the cartridge in my hands, and I looked down on it. I thought of Melissa. If what I had experienced in the game was indeed genuine, doing what I did may have been the only way to save her from the endless torture. In a way, this warped game might have saved her soul. Littering. Damn it. Once again, that thought came into my head. I knew I wouldn't be able to destroy it, so I just sat down at the bench, glazing at the lake for about an hour. Ultimately, I decided on a third option. Selling the game on eBay. It may be selfish, but I promise you that it has nothing to do with money. I don't care about how much or little I get paid for the game. Believe me. It's selfish because I don't want the responsibility of owning the cartridge anymore. I cannot dwell on this forever, and the only way I can deal with this is by putting the game out of my life. So it brings me to the main reasons I created the summary of these events. The first is to record the details while I can remember them. The second is to whoever bids on this game what they're getting into. I can't guarantee the safety of anyone who plays this game, or anything that would happen at all. But to the new owner of the game, owner of the gamer, remember this. Be careful, and if you feel like this game is literally messing with your mind, shut the damn thing off. And that's the end of the story. Owner of the gamer. Well, chat, what do you think about the story? As I'm eating my pizza right now. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I agree with everything you said, son. The end of the story was so anime, it's so funny. It started good, but the end was disappointing. I am not a fan of any of the Melissa stuff. At all. I'm not a fan of it. And one of the big reasons is, well, there's a lot of reasons for it, right? If there is, for example, I would not mind if the game was like, hey, I was in a relationship with this girl in middle school, right? And then through a memory, she, like, it doesn't, like, take out that mental health stuff, take that out, right? Let's say, for example, if I were to rewrite this, right? And I was thinking about this story, and I was rewriting it, I would take out almost everything to do with her. And I would, and what I would do is have it so, Melissa exists, right? But it would be to the extent of, like, the narrator was in a relationship when he was in middle school. Melissa got in an accident, and he saw her face, right? He saw her face after the accident, right? She dies, it's unfortunate, and it's a tragic memory and a very depressing memory from when he was younger, right? Then that specific memory is called into the game as a way of torturing the narrator. And that's it. That's it. Nothing else needs to be added. Because at that point, what you're doing is you're already suggesting that this game is starting to get, like, very personal, right? And you don't even have to be that personal anymore. You can just leave it at that, and then it'll just be lingering in your mind of, like, does this game know, or am I thinking things? You know what I mean? Like, the best thing about horror is that you can leave it to the imagination of the person, so that way you're not, you don't have to hand-fist it in, right? It's better to leave it vague. Like, obviously not too vague, but leave it vague enough, give enough clues to be like, is this game haunted? Is this not haunted? It's certainly bringing up a memory that like, he's like, that face looks like what I remember from her face, but maybe it's the trauma that he has from when he was younger that's making him recall that face. Or maybe it is the game being haunted. You know what I mean? Like, there's something supernatural with this game. You know what I mean? Like, that's way more interesting than, like, Melissa was there and she still loves me even though we were in a middle school relationship. You know what I mean? I think it's silly. And Red kind of gets devalued, not because he's a final boss, but because he's very talkative. It's like don't let the monster speak kind of rule, right? If the monster speaks, he loses all the spooky riz. You know what I mean? The scary riz. You know what I mean? Like, I wish we'd get more information how Red was linked with this. So, okay. Fun fact. There is a sequel. A sequel does exist. It is not finished, and we will not be reading it because it's unfinished. I have read the sequel. And the sequel is more on the lines. Oh, by the way, the sequel also does start with the person that whole eBay scenario, which I think is ridiculous. Does play out in the sequel. In other words, we have a different protagonist in the sequel, and that protag is the one who got that game from the eBay from Zachary, right? So we're starting with a different person who got that game and who is aware and believes all of what happened. So it's not a situation where it's like, I've got this game and I'm like, I don't think it's haunted. It's, I've got this game, I fully understand what I'm getting into. I'm a tiny bit skeptical, but like the moment things actually start shifting, I'm fully understanding that this is where I'm getting into, if that makes sense. Yeah, he couldn't break the rules, but then he's a hypocrite. So I think that I think the sequel is a bit more interesting. Sonic EXE logic. I think the sequel is a bit more interesting. It's not. It's a bit more yappy in certain senses. With the, because like in this the character dialogue between the narrator and the game itself, there's a bit of dialogue in between, like they're exchanging dialogue, and that only happens like towards the end of the game, right? It's like towards the end of the game where it's like revealing some of the more like personal aspects of it, right? There's like there's a dialogue, and in the sequel, that dialogue is there from the beginning, right? So there's a character. I'll say this: there was a character in the game in the second story in the sequel, where the player is having a one-on-one conversation between themselves and one of the creatures in the game, right? The story of Godzilla NES, I believe it's called Godzilla NES Replay. There you go, Godzilla Replay. The story of Replay is less of a scary creepypasta and more of a mystery of what is the and to be fair, when you go to that point, right? Because like, regardless of, okay, so Godzilla NES, it has its issues, right? But there's still a lot of lingering questions, right? And there's a lot of supernatural things that are going on with it. Part of the problem of making a sequel is when you decide to try to explain things that are not necessarily needed to be explained. And I do think that the sequel of this story is trying to do that. Right? The sequel of this story is trying to be some of that explanation, it leans into the, this is before, by the way, before the phenomenon happened, but it leans into the everything is personalized kind of thing, but it was before the personalization trend was kind of going. Oh, welcome in, Raiders.
Lopu Flibby just raided us with a party of 6. Let's give him a warm welcome.
Welcome in, Raiders. How was Fortnite? Welcome in, Raiders. I'm Jackson, an artist and gaming streamer. Right now, we just finished reading Godzilla NES, which is a famous creepypasta. We're discussing. Thanks so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. We're discussing the end of the story, and so we're giving our critiques and maybe a little bit of our praises. But yeah, how was Fortnite? Thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate it. So, what was I gonna say? So when you get to a point where you have a story that has like these kind of like vague ideas, when you do make a sequel, it becomes very, how do I say it? it becomes a bit of a risk when you decide to try to over-explain certain parts of the narrative and be like that. You didn't get any wins, but that's okay. That's fine. Look, as long as you had fun, that's good. Don't worry too much about winning. You'll win next time. Don't worry too much about winning. Not every game you need to win. As long as you're having a good time. But yeah, if you need to do any post-stream self-care, please do. I will take care of your goobers. We won friendship. But yeah, we're discussing the end of the story. It was a big epic battle. Have any of you read Godzilla NES, by the way? It was a really popular creepypasta way back in the day. Friendship powers activate. This is why I often ask if a sequel is necessary. I would say I'm intrigued enough in the sequel of this story to see where it's going, because it leans a bit more into that absurdity. It leans into more of that absurdity in a good way, in a creative way. But if I were to read this story and I had no idea there was a sequel, I probably would have been like, this story is fine and flawed the way it is. I would probably leave it alone, right? But I'm not the creator, so the creator obviously has different aspirations, and obviously they're still doing a lot of stuff. And look, this is gonna be a while from now, so we can take a quick peek at Godzilla Replay. And I want to, like, kind of go a little bit further in. This is a little peek into Godzilla NES. This is Chapter 2, so it's a lot of the same thing over here, right? You get, like, some new interesting levels, you're in a different area. A lot of it is similar, right? And it's very creative, right? But you have, like, you have some more one-on-one conversations, and there's, like, some interesting... There's more of that, like, this level is like this, and it's really weird, and it's kind of cool, but look at this. Like, there's some of that interaction. Hey, I'm this character. Thank you. And it responds. You know what I mean? There's that one-on-one kind of conversation, but it's not... It doesn't feel like Red. It's weird. It's weird. So... And this is just from the second one, obviously, and there's a goal over here, right? This story is more about the mystery aspect, right? So, like, there's a goal. We need to get every single one of these things. It's like Mario and the 6 golden coins, right? Like, we got to get all the 6 golden coins so that we can reach the final boss, right? So that's Godzilla Replay. If you want to read it, you can go ahead and do so. This story, I believe, is not complete. Let me see. Yeah, it's at Chapter 5, right? It's at Chapter 5, so it's not anywhere near completion. So, so you will be reading an unfinished story, but it's still cool. I'd say if you were interested in Godzilla NES, I do recommend you try to read it. But with that, we're done. We're done. We're done with this. We're done with the story. They also have the game you can play. You know, I don't think I should. I don't think I can finish stream early. I know I've been streaming for 3 hours, and I could end it now. I could end it now, but what do you think, chat? Yeah, I finished the story. Story's done. I mean, it did take most of the stream. Is Creepypasta as a movie? Fancy seeing you here, Jax. I am not reading another Creepypasta yet. I'm not reading a Creepypasta yet, unless it's very short. Trout. Treasure Island. How long is Treasure Island? How long is Treasure Island? Is it as long as this? Because, like, Look, I kid you not. I want to read more creepypastas for this month, but I'm very, like, exhausted. I will say on Wednesday it's part of a series. Thank you for the hydrate. I just hydrated, but I'll do it more. Stretch your knees. Excuse me. Eeper. Does it mess with your sleep? No, my sleep's fine. Spin the wheel. I am on Wednesday. Wednesday will not be an art stream. And Obviously, because I'm still kind of dealing with my back problems, so I haven't drawn in a while, and I miss drawing. I think on Wednesday I'm gonna try to play a game because we're already on the second week of we're on the second week of October already, and so I should probably play a game. So I'll probably play Dracula Kid Dracula and Game Boy. Excuse me. Tenchi, how long are your games, by the way? I'm curious. And then would I be able to run it? So we do have ads coming up pretty soon. I snoozed it earlier because we got rated. But I will be taking that ad break soon. But I'm just curious. They're both quite short, and you're likely to run them both. You're quite likely to run them both. How long do you think it would take to play? Like an hour, 2 hours? Like an estimated time for maybe somebody who probably hasn't played it before? I'm gonna say like 20 minutes each. Wait, really? So it's just 20 minutes. Okay. Maybe 30 minutes for one max. Okay. How about we do this? Hopefully it doesn't take long to install. How about you send it to me in DMs. We'll go on BRB. And I'll try it out. I'll try one of them out. How's that sound? Because 30 minutes is like, that might just be enough time. We'll change this. It's still just chatting, so it'll be fine. I'll change the title or something. Just send it to me in DMs. I'll see if I can check it out. But right now we're gonna do a quick BRB. I gotta put my food away, or my plate away, and then we'll be right back. After these messages. A little bit closer, camera. All right, chat. Intimate. We're gonna get intimate with Mario. I'm gonna get eventually. Why does it make that noise? Why does it make that noise? There's a rat. What? Wait a minute. What? I didn't choose anything. Wait. It's a moral choice, and it seems you've already chosen. Oh no! Damn. Look, feature.
I need a Rayquaza. Screaming dragon. Scream at my
What?
Kyogre and Groudon.
What did you say? Creaming dragon?
No!
That's what you
Screaming
said.
dragon. No, I said screaming dragon. Don't say that, Jax. Don't,
You said.
don't say that. I'm gonna clip it. Unless someone else wants to clip that. Cursed Jaxism. I didn't say.
To Elgato.
Yeah, I don't know how you do things. He's not touching my stream setup at all when he's here. Oops.
I'm so sorry in advance.
So shitty!
What? Oh, hi, Brian. I thought that was Jax's brother. Wait.
My brother doesn't sound like Brian.
No, I didn't know he came into the call. Huh? You should be at me.
and yes, I can run. Originally, this is the running speed. It was not. Oh. Remember, this is in 1989. This game came out. That red one is unused. If you kill it, oranges come out. Oh no, bullets come out. Yes, that's correct. Taking what belongs to others is wrong. Unfortunately, there are apparently those who do not heed those words. In fact, there are criminals stealing the Pokemon of others. I have, therefore, been on the lookout for... My freaking pattern of speech is just, like, dying over and over again. And it's because I keep getting distracted by getting more popcorn! There we go. And then game. Wait, what's this background? Why do I have this in my background? What is this? Why do I have the desert as my wallpaper? It's like the ocean. There's just more dirt. Now there's Ba. And now there's Moose. Okay, I'm going back to the game. It's pain going outside. If you don't mind showing me a Pokemon called Geodude? Why? Why? I don't even know you. Can't show you my Geodude without knowing you. Mama, wait, what's that? What, Mama, wait, whoa, Mama, what the Mama Mia? What the, what the Mama? What the heck? Hey, what the heck? How the, what the? Don't you recognize? Stay away from her, you fiend! Oh, my little darling, are you okay? Did that overly small, weird, unidentifiable thing hurt you? Don't worry, you're gonna go someplace safe. Chris, I'm never doing that again. You'll make her return to your inventory. Okay. Although you've smashed my mecha suit, don't think you've given me the boot. Now I've trapped you on my tower, I'll crush you with my ghostly power. I died! No! So when you die... Waddle Dees. Ow! Okay. I was gonna do it anyways. Left or
This
right?
looks dangerous. I'll hold the light steady.
Oh, I see.
Oh, nicely done.
Thank you, Bob. Ow! Doors? Where are the rest of the rats? You froze me! I can't move! Not the bees. Not the bees! Ah! Ah! You can't stop me. You can't stop me. You can't stop me! Ah! Immediately. Anyways, we're back. We... Like that noise, chat? You're back. Yeah. I do remember looking at a video and it has like a similar looking.
Are you okay?
Hold on. You still have that. Why is he front facing? Why is he front facing? Shift, left, and then what was it? Down, right? Let me see what you got. Down, right. Scary minecart. 1 second.
Welcome to bonus stage.
Perhaps a bit more. At the end of the movie, it does nothing. There's the ring. Don't put it on. 6 eyes. Okay, I'm back. Can we... Shut up, me. Can we play more crusty GBA games? That was so much fun. I freaking love playing crusty GBA games. The Tom and... No, not the Tom and Jerry and the Magic Ring lore. By the way, let me change out. We're gonna... There we go. See, now I get to use this for a bit. I'm gonna change the title. It's a little bit. Playing Tenchi's game. I know the perfect GBA game. Okay, so I have... What did you send me, Diggs? Ah! So we're gonna get Tenchi's game up and running. Let me go ahead and... I already downloaded it. It's called Mectonic. Hopefully I can get it to run, and it won't cause my computer to explode. Which I'm assuming is fine. I'm assuming it's fine. Also, Diggs, thank you for shouting out for shouting them out. Unless you didn't. And that was just a repeat shout out. I have no idea. Also, hopefully this is not full screen immediately. It's full screen immediately! Well, how do I show this? Oh wait, hold on. Window. Okay. Hold on, chat. Okay, hold on. Hold on, chat. I won't be able to see you all. Hold on, chat. Music's really cool, though. Game capture. Mectonic, okay. Okay. It's gonna be full screen, so I'll have to look at you all from the... It's fine, right here. Let me get the volume mixer so it's not too high. No, you're fine. I want to hear the music, so we're gonna have it set to here. You know what? I think the music's fine. It was super crunch time. Don't worry. Okay. I'm just gonna have to play full screen. Okay. So I'm assuming it's mouse and keyboard? Because I have to use keyboard? This is Mectonic, okay. Unless my controller works. Okay, so...
that, little buddy? Let's go see what we can do.
Okay. Okay, I can't use the controller. Wait. Yes! Okay, it's like a roll. Okay, top is jump. It's actually really responsive with my controller. Like, immediately works. Finally. Oh wait, I can hold it. I hope you don't mind me being... Look, I always test games out like this, okay? This is just how I am. Oh, you can do it in the air? Wait, hold on. Hold on. We might have some crazy movement here. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait, what? Wait, hold on. Okay, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, hold on. You can... Yeah! Look, it's important. I'm telling you, it's important. Every I already said, look, look, here's the thing. Every game dev needs somebody to be insane like me so they can get the maximum amount of... It's like, you need to be crazy, okay? But I do like how this controls, actually. It's really cool. Okay. How do I... Okay, hold on. Okay. Oh! Okay. Okay. Okay, so control... Okay, so you can double jump. Okay, you can double jump off of there. I wanted to see how quickly I can double jump. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Where am I? I can... Hold on. I just like having this entire playground up to my power. Whoa. Okay, moves you this way. That's cool. Oh, because there's a big arrow that says go this way. The controller is so hard to move the camera is why I prefer keyboard. Let me try with keyboard. Am I... Okay, keyboard. Oh, and then you can... Okay, I'm switching to keyboard, okay. Spacebar, left click, jump dash. Okay. I forgot what my left and right were. Checkpoint get. Oh no! Okay. Yeah! I want to go back up there. Okay. Jump. What is this? Who are you? What do you mean you hit me? Gotcha. I'm on top of the world. Finally. I want to go up. I want to go up there. Hold on. I like this music a lot. It's so fun. Bam! What was that? Wait, what was that noise? Oh! Where am I? Okay. Gotcha. You made all the music too? It's so good. We're trying out Tenchi's game. We're at the goal. Their own chairs? What is this? They're like watching a movie. You can't watch movies. You have to perish. Look, they can't, they're not allowed. They haven't paid their bill. Ah! Gotcha. Now no one's watching the movie. You must be moderated to do this. You can't watch movies, you have to perish. Enter to skip cutscene? Why would I want to skip cutscene? I want to see all the cutscene. Where's the cutscene? Wait, where's the cutscene? Did I kill everybody and the cutscene's no longer available? Did I kill everybody and destroy the cutscene? Okay. It's okay. We'll make our own cutscene. You have to hit the goal to get the cutscene. Oh, the goal! Ah, I'm going. Okay. I love these character designs. Music time?
It's those like you who promise safety with destructive tools. It has brought all of us to our limits. Many of you don't realize the power these possess, so it's safest you let us keep these by trusting our authority.
They're taking the power source. We can snatch it back if we're fast enough.
Hey, oh. We'll move it, we'll move it. Okay, they're taking the source of power. We have to... Got the red beams of doom. We gotta go. Okay. Oh! Okay, hold on. I like this music a lot. But I made the full soundtrack. Wait, what? There's like, this goes up. Or does it go down? Ah! Oh, I was turned around. Wait. No, I came through here. I'm supposed to go up here, right? Oh, wait. I'm dumb. Okay. this is scary. Okay, this is scary. Okay, hold on, hold on. Okay, this is gonna be scary. Okay. Okay, 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 okay. 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 Oh! Gotcha! Okay. Okay, okay. Oh, but they're all gone. They despawn. Okay, and then I'm supposed to reach up there. Okay. Okay. Hold on. We'll make our own path. We'll make our own path. We'll make our own path. Because they're not spawned. Okay. No, no we don't, no we don't, no we don't! Okay, 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 okay. Okay. I hope you don't mind. I'm actually genuinely enjoying this. This is great. Oh yeah! I love when a game has multiple options. Where am I? Where am I? Okay. Oh, no, no! Okay. The enemies have not respawned. So I'm supposed to jump, insanely high skill ceiling. That doesn't mean I can't win. I will absolutely... Look, you... What the... Okay, you made this, right? And you shared it with me. The least I can do is show off that skill and beat it. The least I can do is beat it. You know... Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh no! Check one get. Okay. The longer you hold space, the higher you jump. Oh! Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Okay. What? I'm scared. Okay. 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 Yes! Yes! Okay. What the? Hi? Hello? Hello, creature? Hi. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. He's a big friend. Big lad. Yes. Okay, checkpoint get. Let's go! We did it, chat! Stomp? Oh, it's a stomp! Look at him. Okay, I love how... What the... Oh, what do you mean?